What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my very first AR build. I have an Anderson lower, a stripped lower, and I have the Palmetto State Armory lower build kit, along with, let me get this guy over here, along with the Palmetto State Armory. See, this is the carbine upper, freedom upper. In the build kit, they give you, obviously, you get your stock. Here, let me set that over there. You get your buffer tube. You get your pistol grip. I'm gonna leave that in there because it has a nut. All right, the very first thing I think I'm gonna put on is going to be my trigger guard. Get all this stuff out of here. We'll just get the box out the way. All right, so the first step, I'm going to be putting on my trigger guard. That comes with a roll pin and a small hex head screw. So let's go ahead and just pop it on in there. All right, and we're gonna take, I had this piece of wood right here to kind of prop that up on there. Get this the first try. So you just want to tap it nice and slow and easy, and you might have to, you know, like pull on this a little bit to, you know, move it and line it up the right way. And you just want to keep tapping it down until it's flush. You're gonna take your hex head screw. It already has Loctite on it. And we're gonna put it on, this is on the back side. All right, and this is a 1/16 inch Allen head, I believe. So you just screw it right in here until it's flush. I think I'll put on the mag release. All right, so inside of there you have your spring, your button, and one side is, you know, has you know, one side's flat and one side's not. And then you actually have the lever with the threads on here. So what I would recommend doing is putting some painter's tape. Maybe just taking a piece of painter's tape and putting it down along here. That way you're not scratching anything up when you're doing this. So you take your spring and you're gonna drop it down in there. Let's see. Drop it down in there. And you want to have the flat side. You want that to be facing down. And you're going to take that and depress the spring at the same time. So you're going to have to hold that in. Take your lever, put it in this hole, and you're just going to thread. Let's see, my thumb's in the way. So you're going to keep depressing on this side and just thread. You'll eventually feel it catch. If you can't, you know, you don't have enough room to spin it, you're gonna have to press harder on the opposite side. Try to give it one more. So if you get it far enough to where you can't push it with your finger, take something like your punch and push it in there. All right, oh yeah, that feels good. The magazine release done. Let's just check it before functionality. It's holding it in there. Looks like it works pretty good. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is bolt release. You see this little hole right here? You have to get that hole lined up with that hole. So let's see, it's gonna fit in here like this. But first we're going to take the detent spring, and you can see that there's a little hole in there. You gotta drop the spring in there. Then take your detent and put that in and put that in there. And this is where it starts to get a little tricky. See, this is going to be spring, you know, have pressure on it. So you want to push this in, and then you got to take this and where's my roll pin? Take the roll pin. Let me see if I can do it like this. Okay. So, 1, I had to take my gloves off. 2, this was pretty tricky, so I just tapped it in the start, you know, get it in there so I didn't have to hold it and be like, you know, doing 10 things at once. All right, so we got it down far enough that it's actually holding it in. So now we don't have to, that makes things a lot easier. So the easiest way is just to get your punch. Just kind of hold it. I'm holding it right there. All right, just a little bit farther. All right, seems like it works pretty good. The next step is going to be, I guess, the takedown pins. What we want to do is, let's see, where's it at? You see this little hole right here? We're going to take one of our springs and just stick it on down there. Then we're going to take our detent, and they give you an extra one just in case, because this is very hard. They're not hard, but these things are known to shoot away. All right, so I have the spring down in that hole. I have the detent right here, and I want to use All right, take a guess in the comments. How many tries do you think it's going to take me to get this? All right, I did it. So if you can manage to get that in there, you can see how the detent is pushing up in that little groove. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the trigger in now. I've already went ahead and put the little spring on here. And in the trigger kit, there's a spring, and you can see on one side, it's bigger than the other. So it's smaller on this side than it is on this side. So go ahead and put it down there. And then you see this little groove right here. That's going to line up just like this, and you should be able to, you know, should be able to pivot in here. Take our lower and let's drop it on in here. We're going to take our push pin from the left side of the rifle, and we're going to take the side with no grooves on it. All right, there we go. Just takes a little finagling. All right, so now we have our hammer, and these two little pins, legs on here, are going to rest right on these little legs on your push pin that you just put in here. So let's see if we can put it like this, and we're gonna push down and try to get this hole right here lined up with this hole. Got it on there. Let's get this crap off of here. So all right, seems like it's working to me. So coming down the home stretch, we have to put the safety selector on. So I already took that out of the bag. And one thing to point out is that, here, let me take this out to show you. So you want to slide it through there, but with the hammer back, you know, you can see that you can slide it through. Oops. But with the hammer forward, you can see that little piece right there is sticking up. So you're going to have the hammer, you know, cocked back. Now that we have the safety selector in, the detent facing down, we're going to take the grip, and you see on the grip that there is that little hole. We're going to take the spring and stick it on in there. All right, as you can see, we got some Loctite on there. All right, I don't know if this thing is catching. I cannot get the, oh, it is catching, okay. All righty. All right, I had to take that off and redo it. I put it on, I put the safety selector, so it was like not switching right, I don't know. So that's done. Let's put this guy back on here. I'm going to take our lower takedown pin. We'll just pop that in there. And take this spring, and you see this hole down here? I'm going to drop this spring down in there. And we're going to take our detent. And we're going to have it sitting in there. And you can see on the buffer tube, this back plate thing is going to sit flush here. So, and again, with your castle nut, you want the big, you know, the big notches facing the back. So like this. So let's go ahead and just start to thread this on here. And we're watching for the front because we want to. All right, so you screw that in until it touches the detent. We're gonna try to push this down and screw it forward until all right, until it's holding that the detent down. You see how it's pushing it down now? Back this up just a little bit. I'm gonna take this back, and right here in this hole, we're gonna take our detent and we're gonna drop that down there. We're gonna take our spring and drop that down there. Oh, hold on. And I'll tighten this up a little later, off camera. Overall, I think it's pretty good. And you gotta find something to pull this down. All right. Oh. Now let's put the buffer tube in there. All right, guys. Here is the final result. I kind of speed rushed through the end of it. I was getting tired of filming, but here is the final result.